This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, August 5th, 2019, and you're tuned into episode 769 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. The great state of Utah leads off our headlines today with news that broke on Friday that state officials had rejected the appeals filed by 6 failed medical marijuana cultivation license applicants, clearing the way for the industry's startup to continue. We've touched on this storyline a couple of times in the past month or so, as Utah awarded 8 of the 10 licenses it had to give out to grow medical marijuana. The state is in the process of starting up a limited medical cannabis program, and the appeals filed recently over the awarding of those first 8 licenses has held that process up. The decision to deny the appeals can itself be appealed, but right now there's no overall hold on the program moving forward, so this one remains evolving. On Friday, Iowa's Medical Cannabidiol Board, as they call it, held a meeting at which chronic pain was added as a qualifying condition to that state's all CBD medical marijuana program. General anxiety and opioid dependency were all rejected, with the decision to add PTSD being pushed to a November 1st meeting. It's notable that chronic pain was added, though, as the condition is generally one of the more cited qualifying conditions in other states with established medical marijuana programs. Marijuana Moment's Kyle Yeager rounds out our top stories today with pickup of an opinion issued late last week by Nebraska Republican Attorney General Doug Peterson that said that any attempts to legalize medical cannabis at the state level in Nebraska would be preempted by federal law and would be unconstitutional. Kyle's story does a good job of parsing through this one, including the observation that 30 other states have legalized medical marijuana by now, a solid majority, which blunts a bit, I think, the argument that letting sick people find relief with medical cannabis is somehow unconstitutional. There's a lot of detail and background to unpack here, so I'd direct you over to Kyle's piece for the full dive in. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. To help celebrate the fact that Ease has been around for 5 years now, the Ease editorial team put together a good series of stories asking their customers about their first experiences getting an Ease delivery. When you transition from a world where cannabis is less than legal to one where a licensed and regulated company like Ease brings you marijuana products right to your door, it can feel a little magical, which I think was captured nicely in the Ease Memories series, which you can check out over at ease.com. And then while you're over there, browse and select from Ease's wide array of legal cannabis products, available in less than an hour for folks living in parts of California and Oregon where Ease is active. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for their long-running support of our show. All right, time for the Blitz. Jumping up to my corner of the country here in Maine, we have the city of Portland releasing proposed details for how the legal adult use marijuana sales program, first passed by statewide initiative in 2016, will be ruled and regulated. Adult use dispensary owners will have to pay a $10,000 annual fee, with the overall number of open shops to be capped at 20. In addition, those 20 dispensaries would have to be located at least 250 feet from one another. Cultivation operations in Portland would see annual fees ranging from $250 to $10,000, with the scale running from small caregivers up to large 7,000 square foot commercial operations. Under the proposed plan, which has yet to be approved by the city council, the 20 dispensary licenses would be given out on a, quote, first qualified, first licensed basis, unquote. Maine should see its first adult use dispensaries open up in the beginning of next year. On Friday, a law went into effect in Colorado allowing people to ask their doctors to recommend medical marijuana to treat pain instead of using opioid-based painkillers. Colorado joins New York and Illinois now in allowing people to use medical cannabis instead of opioids. New Hampshire Republican Governor John Sununu, a noted prohibitionist, just vetoed a bill that would have allowed medical marijuana patients in his state to grow their own medical cannabis at home. There are just 5 dispensaries in New Hampshire where it can take a while to get around due to the lack of large highways, so home grow would have opened up medical cannabis to a lot of people who just aren't able to get to a dispensary. That didn't stop Governor Sununu, who said that he was afraid that home grow would lead to illicit diversion. To him, that's worth keeping medical marijuana from sick people. Alan Brockstein over New Cannabis Ventures published a recent copy of his stock analysis newsletter in which he looks at, with some detail, the numbers just released by Canadian licensed marijuana company Aphria, which was said to have just had a very profitable financial quarter. Alan takes a good, piercing look at those numbers and finds that the cheery picture that was pitched last week throughout the media didn't quite tell the whole story. In short, Aphria booked income that was derived from its falling stock share price, income that should later come back off the books as a cost. I'm the first to admit to not being very strong when it comes to finance stuff, so I'd leave it up to Alan to lay out and for you to judge yourself. Pop over to New Cannabis Ventures for the full read. Canadian licensed marijuana company Cronos Group is investing $300 million to buy into the American hemp industry. Cronos Group will acquire as part of the deal the assets of California-based Redwood Holdings Group, which manufactures and distributes a wide range of hemp-derived CBD products. You might remember Cronos Group as the recipient of last year's $1.8 billion big tobacco investment from tobacco giant Allura Group, which now owns 45% of Cronos Group. Another Canada to America cannabis acquisition grabs today's second-to-last headline, with Terre Ascend, a vertically integrated marijuana company based in Ontario, spending $225 million US to buy a Pennsylvania-based Allura Healthcare, which owns and operates cultivation, processing, and dispensing facilities in Pennsylvania. Kyle Yeager at Marijuana Moment returns to round out our day with news that a new hemp seed bank project is underway, with an announcement on Friday from U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York. Senator Schumer's office issued a press release with details about the new planned seed bank facility to be located at a Cornell University site in Geneva, New York. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.